Hello, it's a vlog. It's been a while. I've got a few ideas. I want to bash them out, put them to you viewers. Not that there's that many of them, although there's like over 6,000 subscribers, it makes no sense. Make sure you've got notifications on because for some reason I don't get that many views on my videos. Apart from like I've got one that's got nearly 500,000 views, which is crazy ridiculous. Thank you. Why don't you watch my other stuff? Is it me? Social anxiety. Is it me? You don't like me, do you? Okay, the reason for this vlog, I want to do like it's a kind of an update, what I've been doing. I'm speaking fast because I don't want it to go on forever. It's news, it's what I've been doing, it's where I've been this morning, it's what my plans are for the future, so let's quickly roll. So the first thing that you might have noticed there was that we've got a new intro. We've got a new logo. I've rebranded Anxiety United basically, modernised, made it look a bit fresher. I just felt that I was bored, to be honest. I've also quickly redesigned anxietyunited.com. Everything's free to use, so don't be put off. I'm not trying to sell you anything here. I'm not a salesman. I have no briefcase. I have no contracts for you to sign. anxietyunited.com, the new website, basically it's a content sharing hub. If on the net there are images that you like that motivate you to get out of bed, to get out the door, make you feel a bit, fuzzy inside, then you can now share them on Anxiety United. There's a little upload button in the top right corner, or if you're on a mobile, there's an upload button. Register an account, you can share content, you can share your story, if there's an article that you like somewhere, if information or whatever, you can do polls on there, quizzes, make lists, upload videos, you can share your YouTube videos if you've got a YouTube channel and you want to share videos, then please feel free to submit them to anxietyunited.com. It's about keeping the info in one place. It's like having, I've called it like a content sharing hub, and that's the idea. If you've got vlogs, if you've got info videos, if you like someone else's video somewhere, obviously you like mine, share them on anxietyunited.com. Let's give people a place to go to find things anxiety, mental health related. That's the plan. So also quickly, I don't know if you've seen already, if you had notifications on, you would have seen it already. Click the little bell by the subscribe button, you'll get notified when I upload. Please. You will have seen, I put together a piece, and it's only short, and it's like emotional and powerful, and the idea is, well, to try and raise awareness of male suicide, because nobody wants to talk about it. It's the elephant in the room. People don't like talking about it, people don't want to hear about it, they just don't want to discuss it. Well, tough, because I'm discussing it right now. So I put the video together, and it's about, basically for me, the amount of strength and courage that it takes for people to actually seek help. So yes, it was a video about male suicide, but at the end of the video, and you must watch it to the end because that's where the twist is, sort of thing. I won't say too much about it, but the key is that it takes a hell of a lot of courage and strength to seek help, to speak out, whether it's a phone call, whether it's just telling somebody or seeing your GP or whatever it is. It takes a lot of strength and courage, and that was the key message, because perhaps, the stigma of mental health and who wants to be known as the guy that can't deal with something, can't deal with a mental problem. Who wants to be known as that guy? Well, I am that guy because I can't deal with my shit, and that's why I'm in this problem. That's why I make videos. That's why I'm sat at home right now. Otherwise, I'd be in Florida surfing. Maybe. I don't know whether I would or not. I can't surf. And I can't afford to go to Florida, but you get the idea. Another thing for me, like I was thinking, and while we're on the subject of male suicide, like how many times, and for me this is something that I can personally relate to, so whether this would relate to anybody else, male and female, this is just like the suicide thing on a whole. But when I've been to the doctors in the past, or if I've gone to therapy, and you fill out the form thing, I can't remember what it's called, is it a PHQ-9? Maybe? There's a questionnaire that you do, and one of the questions on there is, have you ever considered harming yourself or had suicidal thoughts? Now, the thing for me, and whether this rings true with anybody else, but it's something like, when I've had that, and I've always ticked no. I've always ticked no. No, never thought of harming myself. Never thought that I would be better off if I didn't have to live this life. Never thought that if I didn't wake up tomorrow and didn't have a panic attack or didn't have anxiety because I'm fucking not waking up, you know? And the point that I'm trying to make is that I think a lot of people have the thought. I think a lot of people, I don't know, I'm speaking personally here, the elephant in the room. I'm not that big, am I? It's a serious topic, but I'm trying to make it a bit more light-hearted, but it's not, it's serious. And the problem is, I think, and this is the reason that I would never admit to thinking that sometimes I've had the thought that I would be better off if I weren't here. I think if everybody was 100% honest, that probably the majority of people that suffer with depression, anxiety, have thought that. Not to say that we would act on it, but it's just like a thought. I can't be asked to deal with this anymore. It would be easier if I didn't have to. You know, that's the reality. That's what I'm trying to say. The reason that I tick no is because I'm worried that if I was to be honest and say, yes, I've thought that, you know, I've never acted on it and I never would because I know myself. But if I tick yes, within the next 5 seconds, the doctor's going to inject me with something. And I'm going to wake up on a table, chained, freaking out. You know? And I think that's the worrying thought that people have. They don't want to admit that they've thought. And then perhaps, you see, this is where I'm going with it. I'm going back to male suicide. It's like perhaps people have said no because they don't want to admit it, because they don't want to be pushed down that road, sectioned, or whatever happens, or medicated, because it doesn't work for a lot of people. What they really want, and if they were to admit and tick and say, yes, I've thought that I would be better off if I didn't have to deal with this, because that's essentially what it is. But it's just not getting over it, it's just ending it. But I think what they really, really want is help to deal with the freaking depression or the anxiety or the panic attacks. They're not really suicidal. They just want help to deal with the shit that's making them feel that they'd be better off without it, you know? But then they tick no, and then everything's kosher, and the doctor says, okay, we'll book you in for therapy in 15 years, come back and see me. You know, and then they go away and nothing's been dealt with because you can't really be honest because you're scared. You're scared when you go in there. You're scared about going to the appointment. You're scared about making it. Already taken a shitload of courage to pick up the phone and book the bloody appointment. And then you go in there and you fill in the questionnaire and they ask you if you've ever thought of committing suicide or you've ever thought of harming yourself. And the first thing that comes into my mind is like, if I tick yes now, I ain't seeing daylight for a bit. I don't know, because I've never been in that situation, how it would go if I ticked yes. But I'm just ticking no, because I ain't willing to take that risk. You know, it was bad enough coming here. I don't want to go somewhere else and not be able to get out. So I think maybe this has gone on for way too long. This is a whole separate topic. It's a whole separate video. This is like a freaking podcast in itself. That was my next point. Sorry. The male suicide rant has gone on a bit. It's not just male suicide, is it? It's suicide due to mental health issues. Like, the statistics are staggering, and I don't know whether I'm going to include this bit in the video because most people will maybe have clicked off it because I've been going on about it so long. Dang! But I make some good points, and that was the whole point. In other news, this morning I went out for breakfast, so here's a couple of clips of me now. Getting some breakfast, and I'm, wow, apprehensive, feeling unsteady, swaying, tipping. My wife's just gone to order a drink, and I'm just trying to challenge myself, bringing it on, bring the panic on. But the problem is I don't really want it to go. So that's the challenge. Okay. So, My wife has been and ordered drinks. I've got tea. We're 10 minutes in. I do feel a little better. I'm sitting by a window. But I'm sort of riding the waves, but I really am using the 101 basics. If you haven't watched the series yet, do. And try and use it for things like this. I've discussed so much on there, like health anxiety dealing with symptoms, agoraphobia dealing with this, social anxiety dealing with people. It's a case of working on everything, not just one thing, which I've done in the past. So my wife has now gone to order breakfast, so now we're in the waiting period. But as I say, I keep going in and out. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to talk to my wife and just, you know, we'll see. I'll keep you posted. So, the breakfast has arrived and it looks really, really fresh. So, I will do a review of this place at the end. Good for breakfast. Well, so far I haven't tried it yet. Mediocre for anxiety at the moment. So I didn't want to make the breakfast this morning all about vlogging. I didn't want to make it about going out, filming myself for long periods, you know, and getting footage and trying to hold off a panic attack, because that was the key point for me. That was the takeaway. It was like, I didn't want to go in there, sit there and think to myself, right, I'm going to be in here about an hour, perhaps, order breakfast, have some drinks, and I've got to sit here and hold a panic attack off for an hour. I didn't go in with that mindset. I went in with the mindset of, I've learned a lot from Anxiety 101, the podcast, even though I'm on it and I share my thoughts, and like Drew shares some great, valuable insights and points. But I was using the stuff that I've learned myself, or maybe just like watching back and just picking up and realising I'm in no real danger. It makes no difference if I'm sitting here or I'm sitting on my chair that I'm in now at home. It's exactly the same. I'm the same person. I'm just in a different area, different location. That's the only difference. Same person, same thoughts sometimes. The other thing that I was thinking was like that there is no comfortable way. And I mentioned it before, like on one of the podcasts, that I tend to think of myself, I used to be agoraphobic. That was my thing. And when I used to go out and expand my comfort zone and push my limits and boundaries, that was what helped me back then. But since then, and since I've slipped back, because I did heavily back, I've become like health anxiety conscious. Is something that's on my mind a lot. And social anxiety, which I never had a problem with before, but now it's something that I do. But I've realised that there's more than one thing that I need to work on. Whereas before I could work on just going out, getting comfortable, not really paying much attention, you know, just creating new habits. Now I realise that I need to work on the way that I deal with symptoms, sensations, thoughts, everything. So I'm really, it makes it sound like I'm constantly aware of what's happening and I'm constantly challenging, but it's not like that. What I'm trying to do is just be normal for as often as I can. But if I get a sensation or I get a scary thought or a flashing thought, I deal with it when it arises. So in dealing with it, and this is what I've been doing for the last, I don't know, probably the last month maybe, like a sensation comes, a stabbing pain or a bit of a dizzy spell, I will deal with it there and then, and I will pay no more attention to it. So in dealing with it, I don't really know what I do. It's just like, I'm in no real danger. That's what I say. Like, I keep that thought in my head. This is not something that is going to harm me. It will pass. I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly healthy. It's just a blip. Let's move on. Let's not add fear. I'm not scared. Bring it on. And that's what I've been doing. And that's what I was doing this morning. And I said in the little bit of footage, it took me like 4 minutes to say that. But in the footage, shush. In the footage this morning, when we was having breakfast, and I said, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to bring a panic attack on, or I'm challenging it, like, bring it on, Give me the worst that you've got. But it's really, really difficult at first because you know that deep down, like you're saying that, bring it on. I'm not scared. Bring on the panic. But at the back of your mind, as soon as you said it, it's like, I'm only joking. Please, just go easy on me because I don't want to experience it. Well, that's what I think like building the habit of going out and doing that, bring it on. Because it works. It definitely works. It takes you out of the tense hold that you've got on yourself. Just like, bring it on. Give it. Whatever you've got, hit me with it now. Because I don't care what it is. I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to sit here and let's just see what you can do. And that's what I was doing this morning. And by the end of like, we sat, we ate, and usually when we've done that, I'll eat it as quick as possible, feel uncomfortable, and then we'll bail out. As soon as I'm done, let's go. We've done it, yes, success. But no, that isn't success really, because you're still running away from the situation. It's just like you're white knuckling it, grit your teeth, clench your fists, eat your food, and get the f out of here. But I didn't want it to be like that this morning. We finished the food, we sat. We finished our drinks, we sat. And I wanted to just experience those waves because I was still getting them, and they're going to probably happen forever. But it's just like getting used to noticing the wave. If there's a sensation, just deal with it the same way that I would deal with it at home. It's exactly the same. Bring it on. Hit me with it. I'm hyper aware of my situation, of any symptoms, sensations, peripheral vision, my hearing's superb. You know? We can deal with it. Bring it on. Bring it on. Whatever. And by the end, I managed to walk out of there knowing that I just succeeded in a challenge that was like nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like we've discussed going for breakfast for weeks we've talked about it, and we'll get up in the morning and I'll just like But I said to my wife yesterday, because I wanted to do this, I said to my wife last night, I'm going to try and talk you out of this in the morning. Like, you know that I'm going to say or come up with something, or there's going to be a reason that we can't do it, or we're going to get there and I'm going to say, I told her to be prepared to make sure that I did not back out of it, and she did, and that was helpful. Like maybe having a support person or just somebody. Anything else? Oh yeah, so I was thinking of doing, oh wow, the whole point of this video was to talk about this really. Some ideas that I've been playing with in my head about what I can do with the channel. YouTube channel that is, if that's where you're watching this. And I was thinking of doing like maybe, because we're doing the Anxiety 101 series, which I love doing, it's brilliant, and I'm learning so much. The stuff that maybe I already knew, but it's just like so easy to understand it when we just back and forth it, and we're just talking about it, and it's off the cuff, and there's no preparation. It's just like real, this is it, this is how we would deal with it, this is how Drew has dealt with it, and this is how I am dealing with it, and this is where I've made progress in the past, or where I've fell back. You know, this is real life experience. We're not reading from a book. This is it. That's the Anxiety 101 series. I was thinking of doing maybe a series of like reviews of products or books and stuff like that, but real reviews. So not like somebody sends me a book, an author that's written a book on panic, and a box of chocolates, and then I do a lovely review for them. That's not how this is going to work. I'm thinking like real reviews. I will buy the freaking book, or I will buy something that is meant to help with anxiety, whether it's a program, whether it's a salt lamp, which I've already got, whether it's anything to do with something that has been promoted as helpful for people that suffer with mental health conditions. I was thinking of reviewing the stuff, really, like giving an honest opinion on the stuff. So whether anybody would be interested in that, or if there's any recommendations, if anybody wants to send me a book and a box of chocolates, I'm joking. I don't like chocolate, send crisps. So that was one idea that I had for another series, not instead of, as well as, because I want to put more content on. We're like over 6,000 subs, even though hardly anybody watches my vids. For some reason I've got loads of subscribers and no views. Well, what will be will be. I'm sure in The videos are there, and eventually, hopefully, people will find them and they'll enjoy them and watch them and comment and like them, because that helps with like getting them up rankings and stuff like that. So hit the like button and definitely do comment. But another thing I was thinking, like maybe a weekly vlog. So if I go out and do anything, or if I catch anything, I don't mean like catch a disease, I mean like catch footage. If I go out, I don't know, because we're talking about going doing more stuff, shopping, going to the zoo. I've said this before, but maybe like doing a weekly thing instead of every day, because that gets too much. But like just throwing clips together, and this is what I've been doing this week. Here, watch, enjoy, like, subscribe, all the bells and whistles. That's about it. We're at 20 minutes. This has gone on for way longer than I expected it to. I hope you've managed to get this far. I've got a face for radio, apparently. That's the end. I'm still vaping. I'm still off the cigarettes. It's been a year. Over a year. It's my wife's birthday in a fortnight. Shit, less than. So whether we'll go out and do something for that, I don't know. There's stuff happening. My dad's much better at the moment. He's now mobile. He's walking about. He's able to drive. Things are good. My daughter started high school like this week. Gone to high school, which was quite a big thing. My lad is starting college. Anything else you want to know? There's nothing to tell. We're moving on up, guys and gals. Join me. Subscribe, like, smash buttons, break things. Have fun. I'll catch you next time. Yeah.